I'm Scott Portis, and I joined the church back after we got married here in 1991, so joined about 93 or 94 when we moved back to Nashville.
My name's Hugh Harvey. I'm on the security committee with Scott. My wife and I moved here in 2002, transferred here with my work, and retired here, so I've been with the church 21 years. I've been on the security committee since it was started back in November of 2017. There were a number of us that Donovan had asked after a session meeting to establish a security committee. As much as he hated to think about it, it just had become appropriate to do so. So Scott, Tom Wilson, Kelly Christie, Bob Sewell, and I were at the meeting with Donovan to establish a security committee. And that was in November 17. After that, or at that point, I became the chairman of the committee, and we started doing some research, talking to some other churches, talking to some local police officers, to some consultants, which Scott will get into a little bit later. And over the next probably year and a half, 2 years, we developed a process. We developed, thanks to Scott, we developed a program that we asked for some quotes from security companies to come in and talk to us and make a presentation about security and the things that we ought to be doing. So in the spring of 2019, again, thanks to Scott, there was an RFP that went out, a request for proposal, to a number of companies to give us a quote on security and some of the things that a consultant would do to help us make it efficient without being being unobtrusive to the congregation.
You know, when we first started the committee, it was foreign to us to lock the doors. Have any doors manned or anybody watching, anybody coming and going. But as Hugh said, times are kind of changing, and we felt that it was irresponsible not to try to do a little bit better and at least know who's coming and going while still being welcoming. And so we went from 30-something doors being open all the time to now we have the sanctuary doors that are open during the service, but we've got someone there that has a presence, and we've got 2 other doors that we use mainly now for people to come in and out of. And so it's taken some time, 2 or 3 years to get people out of the habit of using their favorite door. Everybody had their favorite door for a while.
Yeah, did well.
But we did that, and fortunately during the renovation, the church had added a whole lot of security cameras. So we now have someone every Sunday who actively watches the 40 plus security cameras that we have. We've got bullet resistant glass or a film that we've put over the glass to help the glass in the doors and the windows around the doors not just fall out if someone were to hit it or shoot it. We've added a lot of training for our team. We've got a team of volunteers that give their time, that come in every Sunday. And we've got a couple of professionals that we pay who are armed, unfortunately, but they're needed and are well trained. We've added training to our team, like I said. And we just try now to have a presence and greet everybody as they come and go in and out of the doors, so that we are aware of what's going on and we don't have just doors in every sector of the church that are open all the time. We utilize radios. We have first aid kits and first aid training, some good first aid training that a lot of us have gone through that has just really kind of over time, we're just, as our consultant Brink Fiddler has called it, he said adding layers to the onion, where we've added locking of doors, the security cameras, the training. We just kept doing that. So, and I think we've done that where people feel the presence of the security team, but they don't feel that it's over the top or unwelcoming or scaring people off that are coming to the church. I think most people don't really notice that we're here most of the time. They see a yellow vest or something, or they might see a a uniformed officer outside and going, oh, okay, there's somebody here. But we've not in 3 or 4 years had anybody come and say, it's too much, it feels bad, it feels onerous. So we feel like we've really increased security while not making it obvious or obtrusive. And after the shooting incident that happened at Covenant Church this year, 2023, back in March, it's suddenly, there's a palpable change in Nashville. And I think, fortunately or unfortunately, we didn't do a whole lot different here because we had already done so many things beforehand. But we're in touch with a lot of other churches and communities, and we saw them for the first time maybe taking it a little bit more seriously. But it was nice. We made a couple of small tweaks. We added another full-time or another security guard on Sunday, and the school that is also here in the church added, they had previously added a full-time, they added a second full-time person during the week, and now that person is here for the church office as well. But besides a couple other small changes, we didn't feel like we had to do much. But I have noticed that the membership was impacted a lot, and they, I think, are even more accepting now of what we have to do, unfortunately, than they were even previous to that. There's a little bit of, well, it hasn't happened here, it won't happen here. And now it's like, well, gosh, I guess it could happen here, so let's just be safe but be welcoming.
And then, Scott brought up the point about the Westminster School for Young Children too, and that's a whole different set of factors that you have to adhere to in laws, and safe harbor, I believe, is something that they have to adhere to. So working with Logan Lyman in the church, and of course our staff too, all those things have to be incorporated into the whole security program, particularly because the church is used all during the week, obviously, by a lot of people.
Yeah, I believe that where society is today, we are forever changed, and we're probably always going to have a need for having a watchful but welcoming presence in churches and businesses. And I think we have been blessed with a lot of people who've given a lot of time and are willing to help the team. There are other churches that just hire outside people, and I think, in my opinion, sure, that's a good way to do it, but it's a little bit less personal. And I think I find it welcoming that there are members of this church that are part of the team that are here doing this, 20 plus times a year, and being part of that, and it's welcoming, and I like it too. I've learned more names in the last 3 years of people that I've been to church with for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I like the way we do it. I think we are gonna, be stuck with it, and it's an unfortunate reality, but I think that we're doing it well, and I'm pleased with the way that it's being done in the church and helping the church, I think.
Yeah, I agree, and the only thing I would say is that we can always use more folks, volunteers, and it is not very difficult to do, and you don't need to commit a lot of hours to it, and we'll be happy to train you.
If you're watching this in 2023, 24, 25, then we still need you. Come on.
Absolutely.